That Mark Rylance is a goddamned American national freaking treasure. I don't care if he's British. I'm claiming him for our own. He can Brexit right on over to America, if you know what I mean. Get it? Brexit over to... Come on, keep up with current events, you Neanderthals. Hey everybody, welcome back to Drinks and a Movie. Chris Hamker back with you, and today we'll be talking about Steven Spielberg's The BFG. But before we get into that, we're going to start with the drink, and this is a drink I made up completely on my own. I have no idea whether it's going to taste good or not, but we'll see. The drink is the Frobscottle, or the Frobscottle, as they say it in Giantland. It's a drink that the BFG loves to drink. It's a carbonated drink that the bubbles go downward instead of upwards. It's referenced a lot in the movie, and it essentially makes you fart. The bubbles go down, and so everything goes down. It's a fun little gag in the movie. It is a fart joke, so take it as you will. But that's what we'll be making today. It's a green drink with a lot of carbonation. So what I thought is we will do 2 measures of vodka. So we'll do that real quick. 1 measure of melon liqueur or Midori for the green, and then fill the rest with Sprite. Give it a quick stir, and then you'll have your Frobscottle. Normally you put in a Collins glass. I'm using a pint glass because my pint glasses are circular. My Collins glasses are kind of square and kind of hard to stir. So I'm using my pint glass. Anyway, start with the 2 of vodka. A half of the Midori, and then the rest with Sprite. Hopefully the half is enough to get it, or a whole if you can't pour. Alright, there we go. Wish me luck on this, because good lord. This is the BFC, the Big Friendly Cocktail. So give it that nice fizzy fizz, and the Frobscottle. We'll give it a stir, a sturdy, slickety, mickety stir. The Giants talked really weird in this. They have their own little language, their own little broken English language, which is, I guess, where this comes from. Anyway, cheers, everybody. Here's the BFG Frobscottle. We'll see how it works. Not bad. The BFG is directed by Steven Spielberg and is written by E.T. Scribe, Melissa Matheson, and stars Mark Rylance as the BFG and Ruby Barnhill as Sophie. The BFG is based on the classic Roald Dahl story of the same name, and is about Sophie, who's a little insomniac and spots the BFG in her town. She's a little orphan. She's in her orphanage up at night, in the middle of the night at 3 in the morning, and she spots him, and he has no choice but to take Sophie to Giantland, or he would be discovered by the folks of the real world. From there, Sophie and the BFG's friendship blossom, and you find out that the BFG is actually, which stands for Big Friendly Giant, if you didn't know, you find out that he is actually being bullied by 9 other much larger giants that are cannibalistic, and, well, cannibalistic is kind of a harsh word. They eat human beings, is the way they're referenced in the movie. These giants go to the real world and steal humans to eat. Roald Dahl is a little dark, so this kind of fantasy movie does kind of skirt that line of dark territory, and brings you a fairy tale full of wonder and delight and charm, and is anchored beautifully by the motion capture performance of Mark Rylance. I mean, his performance is both broad and subtle, and just filled with a charm and warmth that is just such a joy to watch. I'm so glad, since he won the supporting actor Oscar last year for Bridge of Spies, that he's now getting more high-profile roles, so the rest of America can enjoy this just such a wonderful actor. I was serious in the opening. He is becoming just a national treasure in terms of just true subtle acting that is just wonderful. So like I said before, this movie is based on Roald Dahl's book, The BFG, and I honestly am not familiar with the source material. I never read it growing up, but since I watched the movie, I did look it up and read some passages and saw some of the illustrations, and it looked like they stayed pretty close to the source material. I mean, the look of the BFG is very close to all the illustrations I saw, and plus they incorporated all the made-up words and the broken English that the Giants use in Giantland, and you get a few words that you'd recognize from like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, like scrumdiddlyumptious and stuff like that I was like, oh, that's neat and cute. And this movie is literally a fairy tale come to life on screen. I mean, the effects are top-notch. It's just a sweet, charming movie, and I know I keep using this word charming, but it is. I think I just sat there the entire time just smiling watching this movie, and it was just kind of a joy to watch. So, full disclosure, and people who know me will already know this, but Steven Spielberg is definitely my favorite director of all time, and Jaws is my favorite movie of all time, so I was very excited to see this movie. Just for that fact alone. And that having been said, it's not a perfect movie. It really isn't. There is really bad pacing problems in this. I think it's a good family film for a 2-hour movie, but if they would have cut like 20 to maybe 30 minutes out of this movie, it would be a great family film. I just think it has, like I said, pacing problems. It has a lot of second act bloat, and some of the scenes just go on for way too long. And the other problem I had, that the giant world with when they're in Giantland is pretty much all CGI, and the CGI is great, but Sophie, the little girl Ruby Barnhill, is real, and obviously she's not CGI, but I mean she's real in the CGI world, and sometimes she kind of stuck out a little bit too much. The effects are great, but you can only do so much with that. The Jungle Book ran into that problem a little bit as well. So this isn't a perfect movie. I think it was way too long. The source material probably doesn't have enough to make a 2-hour movie out of. If it was an hour and a half or an hour 35, I think it would probably have been really, really good. Look, ultimately, this is, once again, a charming, sweet, good family movie that I think the entire family can enjoy and just sit back and smile with. So I'm going to give this movie 3.5 drinks out of 5. And let me just say, as kind of a personal note to you guys, that I think moviegoers should consider themselves lucky that they can still say, now after, been going for 40 years, they can still say that they are going to see a movie directed by Steven Spielberg and scored by John Williams. I mean, they are arguably one of the greatest directors living and one of the greatest film composers living. I mean, these two guys are two of the best, and they're still working together and still making quality products. Cheers to Steven Spielberg and John Williams. Hopefully they keep doing their thing. Cheers to you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a drink on me. Let me know what your favorite children's book movie is that you've seen. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory or whatever it is. Let me know what that is. This was pretty good. I think it's still a little too long, but cheers everybody. Thank you so much. Have a good one.